Take a
Wait,
little
you said you're
slice
West
of that.
Coast time too?
Yeah. I'm in Vancouver, BC, so this is like it's
Oh,
just
no.
early afternoon for me.
Oh, that's glorious, dude. I used to. So I went to school in University of Washington,
Oh
Seattle.
yeah.
So we used to, it's like a 3 hour drive from Seattle to Vancouver. So we used to go up all the time. Just to we would go to tournaments up there, or we would just go hang out. Me and my friends from college. It was always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I think like Washington and Vancouver have like we have like an alliance, like a cultural alliance where I'm always like anytime I get the chance to go to like Seattle or Bellingham, I'm like, yeah, it's always fun. It's like traveling to like a reverse British Columbia. It's like everything's pretty similar, but like just different enough that you're like, oh, this is neat. Mywheels.nl. How's Bellingham? I flew out of the Bellingham airport once. That's all I really know about Bellingham. That's too much, man. What the heck is Flag Day? Dude, I forget where I was. I was deep in the bowels of Reddit. And there was you know where I was? Dude, okay, because I'm a psycho. We went to Washington State like a month ago, right? To see our nieces. And I wanted to see, I'm a sucker for punishment. So I went to r/Bellingham, which is a city in northern Washington. Because I heard that r/Bellingham had been complaining about the fact that Canadians had been allowed to come into America because we clog up their damn streets with traffic, and those Canadians, they don't know how to drive, and there was one that was like they're buying all this stuff out of our grocery stores and stuff like that, and I was like, I want to see this. I just want to know what they're saying about me so that I can feel superior when I drive through Bellingham and then go to Seattle where my tourism dollars are actually appreciated. Anyway, there was a thread that was like, I have to dispose of an American flag. How can I do it? And as soon as I saw that there were like 917 comments, I was like, this is the damn mother load. It was just arguments, philosophy. I didn't know you can't throw a flag like in the garbage in the United States of America. It's treason. Like you probably won't go to prison for it, but like there's like a code for how to dispose of an American flag. You can't just wash your hands of it. At least you're not supposed to. So anyway, the law is one thing, or the flag code is one thing. I was more surprised that there were so many people that were like, we respect the flag code. And this is not even a debate about nationalism or patriotism. It's more like if you bought that shit at like the dollar store, you just by displaying it, you're treating it with more respect than the manufacturer did. Why are people getting so riled up about it? Like people were going off. I don't know if you're familiar with the flag code. Let me go check on this, okay? Flag code. We're getting into social. I'm becoming a React Andy. Maybe we should watch the Johnny Depp trial. The flag should never touch anything physically beneath it. How do they ship it? Oh, well, you make an exception for transit. The flag should never be used as wearing apparel, bedding, or drapery. Obviously, that one is kind of like you meet that one on your own terms based on how I see people dressed on American Idol. It should never be drawn back nor up in folds, but always allowed to fall free and never festooned. I don't even know what is festooning. The flag should always be permitted to fall freely. United States Flag Code. The code uses non-binding language like should throughout and does not prescribe any penalties to following the guidelines. Holy. Effective, it was in 1998? I thought this shit was from like 1768. Like it was 1779, something like that. This shit passed in the Clinton administration? Federal law regarding flag etiquette. Holy cow. The relevant part of the law for the general public states that when the flag is displayed during a rendition of the national anthem, all persons present should face the flag, stand at attention with their right hand over their heart. When the flag is not displayed, all present should face towards the music and act in the same manner they would if the flag were displayed. Holy cow, man. I take my hat off at the hockey game. Isn't that enough? Anyway, we've gone too far. Sorry, I apologize. For a bald man to take his hat off, that means more than covering your heart, okay? That's not my name? No. They call me Brandon. They call me Mark. They call me Egg. They call me Bald. That's not my name. That's not... No, you did not see me walking across a pier in Bellingham today. I'm never going back to Bellingham because I've read their subreddit. They hate Canadians for bringing tourism to their town. Sorry. Sorry for leaving the glittering metropolis of Vancouver, stopping off in Bellingham to get some Tillamook cheddar cheese and making you have to walk an extra 3 feet to the front of the Costco. I guess I'm an asshole or something. Don't care, didn't ask. Plus, the best thing about your town is your damn airport. But you know who flies out of it? Allegiant. Oh my god. Oh no! Okay, sorry, that's too far. I'd like to apologize. It's not... Look, it's the good citizens of Bellingham that are catching strays. I should be directing that to the people on the subreddit who were so rude. I have no problem with the good citizens of Beham. My ex is from Bellingham. Keep it up, King. Then I say, where are you from? And you say Bellingham, but I already hate myself. And then we collaborate on a little +2 joke. Tourism, i.e. 30 cars in the Costco parking lot filling up on pallets of milk. Well, what do you want us to do in Bellingham? You guys don't even have the damn Tulip Festival. That shit's in, like, Everett. What else do you... I mean, if you want us to come down there and do shit that's not go to the Costco and buy cheap cheese, maybe consider enriching the city with some, like, services or cool cultural things instead of just building, you know, parking lots. Okay, that was a good goal. Like, when I go down to Seattle, I don't fill up the car with pallets of milk. I go to the first Starbucks. I see the stadium where the Mariners play and say, that'd be cool to go there, but I don't really like baseball. Maybe eat some soft shell crab, get some Top Pot donuts or something like that. Witness the birthplace of grunge. Maybe go catch go see Caro Bonito play at the Showbox. You know, something like that. When I go to Bellingham, I'm like, make sure you get the Tillamook cheddar cheese while you're in there. I'm just going to wait in my car on my phone. Have you been to Bellingham? I don't speak about Bellingham. I have a problem with Bellingham because the defining element of a Bellinghamian's personality, as far as I can tell from their posts on the internet, is just being mad at Canadian drivers for providing their town with much-needed tourism revenue. Bellingham's kind of cheeks. You know, honestly, I kind of thought that I liked Bellingham. I kind of thought it was like a cool little town with a convenient airport. Then I realized they fucking hate me. And now I drive past it every single time. Oh, you're pineapple blind? That's pretty true. You know what? That's pretty true. You know what? That's pretty true. It's because Canadians come down and buy all our milk for some reason. Why don't you stock more milk? You're the most capitalist utopia on the planet. We can't buy enough milk to keep it in the stores. You're America. What the fuck are you talking about? You make all the milk and you run all the businesses. It doesn't make any sense. Have you read The Grapes of Wrath? They're pouring out like metric tons of milk all the time. I've in my entire life, I've never heard of anybody in the United States of America being like, it's too hard to buy milk. Everybody at the grocery store has like 8 pints of it in their cart at all times. I just know why Bellingham is like, I feel like Andy Bernard anytime I read r/Bellingham. Well, I'm sorry that I burdened you with my friendship and my tourism dollars. Sorry I came to your town. that has like 2 stoplights in the downtown core and bought some products that look interesting. I forgot these ones are only available for true Bellinghamites. You seem really hung up on Bellingham? My brother in Christ, they asked. They said, you ever been to Bellingham? I've been. I've flown my ass out of there. Best part of Bellingham is when you're leaving the Bellingham airport and the wheels of your Spirit or Allegiant Airlines Embraer jet finally stop touching the runway, so you've officially separated fully with that cursed town. You can finally say you're above Bellingham, not only spiritually, but literally physically as well. Why do you hate Bellingham? I actually don't hate Bellingham. I would be completely okay with Bellingham, as I am with many of the small towns in the northwestern part of Washington, if they just stopped complaining so much about Canadians going to their damn city. How does a town with 2 stoplights have a subreddit? Because the Bellingham airport and its proximity to the Canadian border has given it a disproportionate impact culturally versus its position on the map and the amount of people that actually create a life there. And then it's just like r/antinatalism. They're like, oh, my town's successful. Now I gotta go to 2 grocery stores to buy milk. Oh, my parents loved each other. Now I gotta pay taxes. Does Bellingham have a theme song? Okay, hold on. Bellingham, Washington. I do want to see what their civic motto is. Let's see. Population 80,000. Pathetic. 12th biggest city in Washington. That's okay. There's only 50 states. What is that? 366th biggest city in America. That's cute. Okay, you got a civic motto. I do kind of like the Bellingham flag. I don't know how to describe it, but it looks like a water hazard on a golf course. It has no civic motto. Let's look at its history. Let's not. Oh, this is where Western Washington University is. Every time I drive into Washington, they're like, there's Western Washington University here. It's a good school source, just trust me. I'm not going to go off on Western Washington University just because I've never heard of it. I was laughing because I found myself on r/Bellingham again last night. I was reading about, of course, if you scroll down r/Bellingham for more than 30 seconds, you're guaranteed to see a thread complaining about driving. But this one said, hey, is it just me or are Bellingham drivers really bad? It was downvoted heavily. I guess Bellingham citizens don't like having their driving criticized, which is interesting because they love criticizing others when they drive, especially if they have Canadian license plates. Anyway, I was laughing because someone left a reply that was like, so true, drivers in Western Washington are so bad. I'm usually in the left lane doing 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, and I get stuck behind people all the time. Get out of the way. We have places to go. I'm from the East Coast, and that's just how we drive over there. And then, like, one reply just ate him alive. It was like, you know, people from the East Coast don't have a monopoly on having places to go. And I was like, you know what? That's so true. I don't know if that's actually a stereotype. Like, if that's something that people from the East Coast do a lot. Oh! Dude, on the West Coast, everyone just has, like, a more leisurely pace to their life. It's crazy. I'm from Ann Arbor. And in Ann Arbor, everybody's busy all the time. People are constantly, always doing something in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I guess it's technically not the East Coast, but you get the idea. Why the shots at Michigan? I'm taking shots at everybody, okay? Bellingham, Michigan, Coquitlam. Canadians aren't good at Fall Guys. Too polite. You know what? That's a compliment. So I choose to take it as a. I choose to take it as a compliment. I choose to take it as true. I don't know if it's necessarily that Canadians are polite, but I do think that I grew up in a culture where everybody waits in line, and doesn't concern themselves with what are the odds that someone would punch me in the face if I cut in line. And I will say that it feels different for me in Northwestern Washington. Like in Northwestern Washington, I feel like 80% of people are content to wait in line. Like 20% of people are like, if the person in front of me takes out their phone for 2 seconds to check the weather app, I'm gonna try to just sneak right by him. And you know why? Because fuck you, that's because I can. Now that might just be my own bias, but because it's my personal experience, you can't criticize it. Notoriously mean Bellingham people. I wouldn't know about Bellingham. I will never stop in the city again. r/Bellingham honestly has done more damage to the tourism industry of Bellingham than like, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you anything else about the city, quite frankly, except that they have an airport that mercifully allows you to leave, and it has a close proximity to Seattle, I suppose. Why are you so obsessed with Bellingham? I'm not obsessed with Bellingham. Just somebody in chat mentioned Bellingham. I thought I would provide my thoughts on it. That's not obsession. Obsession is when once a week r/Bellingham posts, how badly do you guys hate Canadian drivers? That's obsession. Like, they're obsessed with Canadian drivers. Probably because the people driving the cars and then parking in the Albertsons parking lot are responsible for at least 60% of the economic activity within the city limits. Why are you checking them weekly? I'm not checking the subreddit. It shows up on my front page because I follow the subreddit. There's a subtle difference. Why are you following it? I follow lots of subreddits I find humorous. r/shit mom groups say, r/choosing beggars. I follow a lot of subreddits where I laugh at the cringe. r/northernlion, of course. I mean, I don't want to be too rude to the Subaru owners. I don't have like too much negativity towards them. The only thing I'll say is that my impression of the average Subaru driver is that I merge onto the highway going, 10 to 20 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, and then some like deep blue Subaru behind me, as soon as possible, hits their signal light like they're frustrated. They merged 6 inches away from my ass, and then they go vroom and take off into like the passing lane to get around me as quickly as possible. And I'm like, easy, man. Your car costs the same as a Toyota Corolla. Like, nobody's that impressed. On the other hand, you do have like the lane guidance system. I do appreciate the safety features. Then immediately hits more traffic. Dude, is there anything more satisfying than being tailgated in traffic by somebody and then they pass you and then you get to tailgate them? That shit gives me life. If somebody's like a meter away from my ass going the speed limit on the highway because there's cars directly in front of me, and then the guy behind me is like losing his mind. What the fuck? Go faster. Then he makes 17 suicidal lane changes to get literally one position in front of me. And now, without me having adjusted my speed at all, guess what, motherfucker? Now I'm tailgating you. Because it's the guy in front of us, and the guy in front of him, and the guy in front of him, and the guy in front of him, and the guy in front of him that's causing this. This is the reason we're traveling at this speed is not... Oh my god, he grabbed me when we jumped over the pole, man. I'm gonna lose my flippin' lid. Everyone knows. Why is everybody going so slowly? That was way more slow. Oh, dude, we're not gonna make it. Fuck you, Among Us, fuck you. I'm doing one more. Nobody realizes that, like, yeah, occasionally you get someone that's slow in the passing lane. Can I tell you, by the way, anyone from Bellingham here, the reason people drive in the passing lane and happen to have Canadian license plates sometimes is because your highways were designed by Lucifer. They have on-ramps like every 100 meters. So you follow the law, you drive in the non-passing lane, and then there's an on-ramp, and 14 GMC Suburbans all need to merge, so you go, okay, I'm going to get in the passing lane. Then you get in the passing lane, you get past the 14 GMC Suburbans, you get into the normal lane again, and guess what? By the time you get back into the normal lane, you're at the fucking 14 GMC Suburban situation again. That's the reason sometimes you'll see people drive in the left lane a little bit longer, because when you drive in the right lane, you can only drive in the right lane for 5 seconds before another on-ramp where like half the drivers are coming through at 80 miles an hour, and then half the drivers can't get above 30 miles an hour, and you're watching like 17 different cars with variable speeds, and you're like trying to prognosticate where you'll be in the order by the time, and you're like, fuck, I'm just gonna get in the left lane for a second. Yeah, I do like a 3-lane road, like a 3-lane highway where you can just sit in the middle lane and like not bother the people that are coming in on the on-ramp, and not bother the people that are like, I need to get to the grocery store in record time, risking my family's health in order to protect my self-esteem as a big manly man. And he got like scanned and blood tested and stuff. He got a clean bill of health with some other, you know, like some things that he can do at home to help minimize his symptoms and stuff like that, which was nice. But then I do have to be honest, there was another part of me that was like, I'm glad my father-in-law is getting good medical attention. But I was also like, where was that shit when I needed it? Because I was fucking dying and nobody cared at the hospital. They were like, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. You're 33 years old. And I was also like, you know what? Fuck this, dude. I'm never going to a Vancouver hospital if I got an emergency ever again. I'm driving out to New West. You can catch me at the New West Hospital. Next time I got a serious problem, go to the closest hospital. That's a foolish decision. I will be going to New Westminster, where the population is 20% of Vancouver's, but the infrastructure is 200% better, and I will be going to New West. No, I would not cross the border and go to Bellingham, okay? I wouldn't be caught dead. Even if the hospital is probably Bellingham's #1 tourist attraction. Because when people go to Bellingham, they're like, what is this horrible town? So they eat cyanide and then go to the hospital, and they're like, what the heck? If I'd known the hospital was this nice, I would have started my trip here instead of at the damn Tulip Festival Museum, whatever the hell you got going on in Bellingham, Western Washington University's football stadium. But to be honest, I've actually, the older I've gotten, the less shit I've been carrying. And I kind of love it. Like now, sometimes I don't even bring my wallet outside because I have Samsung Pay and Google Pay on my phone. So I'm like, what do I need a wallet for? Leave it behind at a restaurant, and then like, you know, I'm not even worried about like my credit card being stolen. It just sounds like a pain in the ass to like have to, you know, get new ID. Okay. When you get carded at the liquor store. That only happens in Ketchikan, Alaska, okay? Because they live a little harder up there. In Vancouver, you know, it might surprise you, but on a regular basis, I'm not the youngest looking person. In Ketchikan, Alaska, I was, you ever, this is so rude. You ever go to like a different town and all of a sudden you're like, holy cow, I'm hot? Don't lie to me, and don't lie to yourself. It happens. In Vancouver, I'm nothing special, okay? Sometimes we go visit our in-laws in like northwestern Washington. Maybe we go to the Mount Vernon Tulip Festival or something like that, and I'm like, damn, dude, I'm a hottie. I had no idea. I go back to Vancouver, I'm like, I'm just a guy. I go to the Bellis Fair Mall in Bellingham, Washington, against my will, under duress, and I'm like, holy cow. I can't believe it. I didn't realize I was such a specimen. But it's kind of true, though. I'm like, shit on Bellingham take. Yep. I did hear that the hotness for avocado toast is to add everything bagel seasoning. Or if you're lucky enough to have access to a Trader Joe's, everything but the bagel. Access to a Trader Joe's. Please stop coming to Bellingham. Oh, don't worry. I only pass through to drive like an asshole, apparently. Buy all of the milk that should only be reserved for Bellingham customers, apparently. Apparently that milk's only for people that are citizens of the city of Bellingham. And then make fun of Bellis Fair Mall. And talk shit about the University of Western Washington. Otherwise, I'm in and out as quickly as possible. You can catch me spending the money I would have spent in Bellingham in Mount Vernon instead. Canadians will literally buy tons of milk and then resell it for profit because of their milk taxes. What are you talking about? You gotta stop listening to, like, whoever told you the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm sorry. Hold on. What you just said is so stupid. No offense, of course. I'm not calling you stupid. I'm simply calling the idea that you espoused stupid. What you have just said is so stupid it almost killed me. In the game. You think Canadians are driving up to Bellingham with the price of gas being what it is? Buying a ton of your Bellingham, your superior Bellingham dairy and then reselling it for profit because of our milk taxes? Hold on, it's officially sicko mode hours. Get on. I wouldn't be surprised. Ah, yes, the mark of something that definitely happens. Would you be surprised if it happened or not? People will be like, I know it doesn't happen, but I could see it. That's like me saying Americans will literally steal a bunch of gold bars from an airplane, open the hatch mid-flight, jump out, and never be seen again. Nah, dude, that's one guy. That's DB Cooper. You can't judge the whole country based on DB Cooper. There's lots of other very prominent Americans worthy of judgment that you can use to base your opinions of the entire country on it. This will help us out. Your colony looks like Bellingham? Excuse me, looks like Bellingham, open parentheses, derogatory? You'd be the worst urban planner ever. That's probably true, but I like to think that I'd be better than a lot of the internet, including some people in Twitch chat right now, who are like, oh, my ideal city? It's one continuous bike lane, and every kilometer you drive, the government gives you $1,000. Every kilometer you bike, I should say. I used the D word accidentally, and for that I apologize. Odessa? Odessa? That's EDM. Okay. Odessa is from Bellingham. Okay, that's all I need to know. Say no more. I was not crowding your Costco in Bellingham, okay? But I did go to the Mod Pizza in Bellingham, and the Mod Pizza in Bellingham was honestly pretty freaking sweet. The pizza was delicious. In the back of my head, I was like, I'm probably not gonna get killed in Bellingham. But like, there's a chance that there's like an insane person that watches my stream and has heard all this shit that I talked about Bellingham that would be like, oh, you know, you talk so much shit about my city and now you're here, huh? Bang! Or something like that, but it didn't. Instead, people were largely like pretty nice, honestly. By the way, I was happy to, when I went to the Costco in Everett, Washington, and let me listen, okay? Now you're sending me off on a little bit of a rant, because I was on r/Bellingham trying to squash the beef with Bellingham. Top post of the week. Is there an escalator anywhere in town? Every single post? No, there hasn't been an escalator in Bellingham ever since J.C. Penney moved to the mall in 1987. You're really, like, Bellingham is out here firing shots. Their whole town doesn't even have a second story anywhere. Like, it's actually madness, okay? Then, like, later, I went to go to r/Bellingham to see if anybody posted my tweet where I made fun of them. And they're going off. Please avoid Trader Joe's today. Oh my God. It's President's Day, but it's also a long weekend in BC. The parking lots are inundated by BC drivers. They're coming up here to steal my milk. Oh, we really need to put a $1 or $2 toll on the border to stop these people from coming over and buying our Trader Joe's General Tso's chicken bites that go so good in the air fryer. Me in Bellingham when I see two other people at the grocery store. Why the fuck is it so busy? Not to mention, your asses are always going off about BC drivers. Me trying to go from Everett to Vancouver yesterday. There's 3 fucking places between Everett and Vancouver before the US border, the US to Canada border, where people actually live. Every single one of them, bumper to bumper traffic, a car like spun out on the side of the road upside down. You want to talk about bad drivers? It was raining. It was raining. They can't keep their cars on the road. And then everybody stops at a freaking standstill. Because when they drive by it, whoa, look at that. Another Washington plate upside down in the ditch. Oh, but Canadian drivers making it take an extra 0.75 seconds for me to park in the Trader Joe's because the General Tso's air fryer chicken bites are so... Shut the hell up. Have some respect, man. I'm not saying you should be, oh, thank you for visiting my country and buying our milk and helping out the like. I'm not a psycho. I'm just saying, like, be nice. You think I've never had a situation in Vancouver where, like, people, I see someone try to pay with American dollars at a restaurant, and then when the server's like, this is not America, they're like, yeah, but our money's worth more? You think I gotta make a post about it? It's what happens when you live in a small town, is like, people are generally nice to each other, so if you're ever inconvenienced, PSA, if you're merging onto the highway, but it's busy, you don't just merge whenever you can merge. There's something called the zipper merge, I know because I summered in New York City once, and then, listen, just fucking chill out. Go to the co-op, have a beautiful breakfast sandwich, go to the donut place everybody likes. Be nice to the people around you. You're up there in Bellingham being like it's the Canadians that are making Bellingham uninhabitable. Nobody's fucking heard of it except for people that live in BC, okay? Don't flatter yourself. Just be nice. Plus, don't flatter yourself. I'm happy to do the extra 45-minute drive. I'll go down to Linwood, which they graced, thank you so much, with a Shake Shack. And I look people in the eyes there, and it looks like they're happy to see me, even though I got a Canadian flag on my hat. Don't worry, Bellingham. I won't stop in your town and fly out of your airport anymore that has Spirit and Allegiant as the main carriers. Yeah, I think I'll just fly YVR to SFO next time. I won't bother with like a 2-hour trip across the border, get harassed by like a U.S. customs agent for absolutely no reason because I have the audacity to have like a toddler and like a Coke Zero in my cup holder. Go a little bit further, go to Bellingham. There's not really like a restaurant once you get past security, but you could get like a cold egg salad sandwich from like this gas station kiosk that we've got nearby, and then fly into Oakland, and then take a bus from Oakland to the BART station, and then take the BART to San Francisco just to save $35, be condescended to by Allegiant Airlines hostesses the whole time we're in the air. Anyway, I'm going, okay? I'm just saying, be nice. I guess it's a little hypocritical, but I never realized like how much people from Bellingham, they got it out for Canada, man. Then somebody in that thread was like, we shouldn't be so hard on the Canadians. They've kept Bellingham out of a recession a few times. So then people are like, we don't need them anymore. We got like a rail terminal. I'm like, dude, you realize you live like an hour away from the border. I wouldn't, how many times are you going to be surprised that the grocery store is busy when both countries have a long weekend before you start like looking inward to examine your own behavior? Like, come on. Like, I recognize that I live like a 30-minute drive away from another country, but have you ever noticed how many people from another country come here to visit? By the way, great day trip from Bellingham is just drive across the border. You can spend a little bit of time in Vancouver. They got great brunch spots. Maybe you could even hop on the BC ferry, go to Victoria, go to Nanaimo. Hey, go to Point Roberts. You can cross the border twice. You'll still be in America. It's like there's no symmetry, okay? They don't apply it to them. When I see a Washington plate in Vancouver, you know what I think of? Oh, of course there's Washington plates. We got Washington, we got Texas, we got Massachusetts, New York, BC, Ontario, Alberta, Idaho, because fucking people come visit our province, they come visit my city, and when I see them, I don't immediately go, oh, you're why it's so busy. You know why I recognize it's so busy everywhere is because it's fucking nice here. People want to come here for vacation, and people want to live here as well. Now, obviously, normally in Bellingham, it's, there's 7 cashier lanes open at the Trader Joe's, but there's not a line for any of them. It's so beautiful, wide open spaces. Me, when I have to wait in line for 3 minutes in order to buy a pint of milk. Whoa! Just fucking relax, man. Anyway, we're going to try Puppy, okay? I want to like Bellingham. It's the closest population center in Washington to British Columbia, okay? But they're making it real hard. First off, all the anti-Canadian rhetoric anytime their grocery store parking lot has more than 3 cars in it. And then the other thing is that they don't have a damn escalator, and that's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. You really don't have like a shopping mall with 2 levels or something. It doesn't even have to be like a sprawling Mall of America type thing. It's like anything with that warrants escalating. Wyoming has 2 escalators in the entire state. Well, then they're ahead of Bellingham on the state level. But I mean, like, if you're in Wyoming and you're like, yeah, get them. Listen, you just relax. You're spared by the fact that I've never been there. I love my Costco Gold card. This whole thing started, okay, because I wanted to mention I was at the Everett Costco. I was very pleased with the free samples that they had on offer there. I had a bit of arugula pizza, and I had some Tillamook cheddar cheese. And I got to tell you, the arugula pizza, that was like, ooh, I wonder what this tastes like. The Tillamook cheddar cheese, I was like, I stole that cheese. That was not a free sample, because I know what cheese tastes like. That was just for me. As one of your 3 Bellingham viewers, we appreciate the recognition. Honestly, here's the thing: I don't hate everybody in Bellingham. I just hate the Bellingham, the subredditors. I guess you'd think the same if you were if you went to r/Vancouver. I've never hated Vancouverites more than when I go to r/Vancouver, and I've never loved living in Vancouver more than when I just like go for a walk outside, and when I make eye contact with someone on the seawall, just giving them like a polite nod. Then I goes on r/Vancouver. Does anybody else hate how we have no protected lefts in the city? And then people try to do a California left, and my car got hit and exploded. Anyway, you get listen. I'm not. It's memes, okay? I'm not actually insulting Bellingham. Well, I'm insulting the Bellingham subredditors, but that's it. Some bald dude nods at me on the seawall. I think I'm gonna get mugged. I don't know if we do muggings here. I'm not suggesting that like robbery doesn't exist. People get stabbed now and then. Sometimes by a knife, sometimes by like a needle. You guys got road rage up there? Me personally, yeah. Broadly, well, you know what I will say, and this is like I'm being very positive to Washington here. I love driving in the parts of Washington where people don't live. And I'm not afraid who knows it. In Vancouver, people give you no space. If you ever take more than 1/8 of 1 microsecond in order to figure out like what you're gonna do, you're getting honked at. If pedestrians are crossing when you're turning right, people are like getting up on your ass, like, come on, go, 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 go. Like they just want you to kill the person that is crossing the street. Driving around Mount Vernon, driving around Everett, Mukilteo, Mill Creek, I felt like people were giving me space. I was giving them space. It's just I think when you're not around as many people, your people are a little bit less tilted to begin with. They're like more patient. You're giving people like you're saluting them when they let you into traffic. It's just a nice situation. But then the thing is, like if more people lived there because it was so pleasant to be there, well, then there would be a lot more traffic and it would all fall apart. So why do all Canadians drive 20 over the speed limit in Washington? Well, it's because when you come from... I was telling Kate this. When I'm driving to Washington, while I'm in BC, I'm getting passed by everybody on the highway. While I'm in Washington, I'm passing everybody, and I don't change my speed that much. It's just like... The only thing that's changing is the way the people around me drive. We got a pretty aggressive driving environment in the lower mainland. People are they're out for blood. Also, like I apologize because it's like it's not a nice thing to say. But like I realized I'm not accepting any more sass from Washington drivers because fucking every time I drive home from Washington to Vancouver, my ass gets caught in northbound traffic because people are crashing their fucking cars on the I-5 all the time. I know, you're like, it's not my fault. Okay, I'm just saying, like, at some point, it's... For some reason, southbound, like, to Seattle, you get traffic, but it's usually not, like, accidents. Northbound, anytime you're passing... I couldn't believe it when we went through... Anybody here from Bellingham? Terrible crash, apparently, just past Iowa Street. My ass in traffic for 45 minutes thinking I really should have had that sandwich back at the Fred Meyer in Everett before we left. But I was like, oh, we'll be home in 2 hours. We got Nexus. Shit was driving me crazy, man. Sitting there getting mad at the person. It's like, it's not a good habit. I'm getting mad at the person who's in the car accident. I'm like, could you have some consideration for the people around you and not crash your car? Some of us are trying to get home. We got a toddler in the car who like needs to eat dinner and then also go to bed at a reasonable hour. So in summary, just relax and be nice. Yes, I mean, I should be nice to the person who's in the accident. I mean, I don't want them to be dead. I just want them to move their car to the side, which is kind of rude, but okay, there's 7. Give me 9. That one goes out to Bellingham. I'm sorry for all the negativity I've stated. No, I'm not apologizing to the people of Bellingham. I'm apologizing to the people who don't know anything about Bellingham and are like, oh, you were too mean to them. The people of Bellingham know what they've done. At least the Redditors do. But the people who are watching this from, you know, they're from like Illinois, they're like, oh my God, why is he so mean to Bellingham? I apologize for the optics inherent. And also, can you do something about Iowa Street? Why are people crashing their cars on Iowa Street so much? What's the Vancouver subreddit like? It's also pretty bad, to be honest. I won't stand here and defend the, you know, the Vancouver subreddit either. Well, we lose this one. I will say, the Vancouver subreddit had a post that was like, who are your favorite Vancouver YouTubers? And then there was like some, like, public transit YouTubers from Vancouver were like at the top of the list. And then with 6 upvotes, someone was like, northernlion's from Vancouver. He talks about local stuff sometimes, but usually he just plays games. Okay. It was, I mean, I was happy I had upvotes instead of downvotes. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure the average person on our Vancouver is like 52 years old. So, like, it's, I mean, that's my demo for one, but also, like, it's nice just to be noticed, quite frankly. We get a badge in the chat to identify ya. You're my subscribers. Thanks for 72 months. Thank you for the gift subs. Thank you for the bitch. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the tips. Come over to my place, baby, you're a wreck. That's an original.